Today is the Divine Sunday, and on this Divine Sunday is where God gives us the sacrament of reconciliation. If we look back on Holy Thursday, He gave us the sacraments of baptism, priesthood, and Eucharist. Today, as He comes to them, to the disciples, the thing He says to them is, peace be with you. Let us all have peace. Let us all receive the Holy Spirit. And as He continues, He says, whoever you forgive, they will be forgiven. Whoever you forgive, they will be forgiven. If you return something, they will not be forgiven. Think of the times when we have condemned our brother or sister because we have held on to something. We have held on to something. God, in His mercy and love, asks us to all forgive. In the first reading of the day is to go to see where Peter himself, as he was walking, his shadow was bringing healing to humanity. Everyone was bringing people, and just the shadow was enough to heal people. The shadow is something that comes out of us. It is when the sun reflects, bounces on us, and behind us we see that shadow. And that was what was giving healing. What comes out of us as individuals? Does that heal other people? What comes out of our mouth? What comes out of our mind? Is it a healing process to one another? But we are comforted. We are comforted in the second reading when we are told, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I hold the key. I hold the key of salvation. Nothing even underneath the world can defeat it. Let us not be afraid. Let us not be afraid. Father Kenan himself gave us some readings which he wanted. But liturgically on a Sunday, we don't replace those. But I'll take one of them, the first reading, which he wanted us to read. I will just summarize what is in that reading. It is from 2 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 1 to 8. 2 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 1 to 8. It says, I charge you, preach the word. I charge you, preach the word. Be ready in season and out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhaust. Whenever you do all these things, do them with patience and teaching. Do not have itching ears, which you only hear what it loves, but have open ears that will hear the Spirit of God. In all this, be sober-minded, endure suffering, do the work of the evangelists, fulfill your ministry. This is exactly when we say fulfill your ministry, what we read in the fourth Sunday of Lent, which we are told that our ministry is the ministry of reconciliation. And that's why we are told we are all ambassadors of Jesus Christ. He finished the reading speech and said, I am being poured out as a drinking offering. Time of my departure has come. I have fought a good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept my faith. The crown of my righteousness, the righteous judge, awaits me. Indeed, his time had come. Indeed, he had fought a good fight. Indeed, he had kept his faith. Before firing a bullet in his head, he took the stone, a priestly stone, which was given when he was ordained, and put it in his head. A priest of Melchizedek, a priest to the end. And he was the family. Said, I have gone to rest. Naunka ukupumula. Chenda uchita leza andelegele. What I have done to the Lord, what I have done, may God forgive me. Menda ona upotiga tauyolekwi. As speaker of that said the philosopher, life is understood backward, but it has to be lived forward. This has happened, and we have to live on. How do we live on? It's for each one of us to understand and do. And I think the reading he gave us, that gives us a hint when he says, I charge you, preach the word of God. So don't say to Ajana, no need of saying it, but he has told us, Gamuya, Mugagambauye, Ijwi Laleza. Mugagambauye, Ijwi Laleza, in season and out of season. Even when you are frustrated, even when you are hit back out of season, preach the word of God. That is never ever brings frustration on another. Show love. And when you are correcting someone, that's why they told us, do it with complete patience and teaching. Let us, Diocese, atunyongane, mbotunyongana, tutabone mwezuma mutimubi. But atunyongane, yuti mwezuma hiwe kuti, wele wa muzaibo. Atutabi amatwi, about each ears, ata mwili yose. Ona awacho yanda to manipulate at the truth. Never ever manipulate the truth. Be sober-minded. The ones that do it. We are fortunate that this is a synodal time. Not too long ago. Ibuti mupairo wa synod ulia utukwahe muboni wesu. We start the prayer by saying, we stand before you, Holy Spirit. And we pledge ourselves would you be led by the Holy Spirit. Muya musalaba utusololede muli yonse otugita. Unfortunately, we didn't recognize it as a whole. Tatuli bantu basante. We are weak and sinful. We are weak and sinful. But in our weakness, we want to cry for help. We want to cry to a brother to pull us out. And this is my prayer always. Wherever I am, let me not cause disorder. Let me not cause disorder. We are all leaders at different levels. How do we do our leadership? Do we bring harmony, love, and understanding? Or we cause disorder? Let not our ignorance lead us in doing what is wrong. No, our partiality affects the way we decide things. This is the synod prayer we are giving. And let us see our passions. Do they exclude others? Kenan said, I've been poured like a debauchee, or we're drinking a drink which has been poured out, and it has been opened. When it has been opened, the head, we have to ask the ideal female power to fix it. Who is fixing the wounded hearts? Who is bringing them together? The ministry of reconciliation as our ambassadors is what is calling us to. Can we be the people fixing each other so that we become better people? Ideal, they are doing a good service. Not so much Christ. Chizi, Chutula Swivo, that the doing Jitima services are about to go sooner. We can be who we are, the titles here, we are going to have qualifications, imagine what we see, but if we have no love, we are nothing. Without love, we are nothing. When everything is done, let's show love to one another. And love will be able to help us. If a Kenan was just confused, didn't know that was a priest who would have not put a stone. For me, it says, I love my priesthood, but it's time to go. Let us love one another. Let us pray for one another. Let us always, always have a positive interpretation of the other. When you have a positive interpretation of the other, will help a brother, will help a sister.